Got tweakers will play on some grass or dirt, but turn down the volume on Dick and Bird. Fuck Dick and Bird! Fuck Dick and Bird! St. Paul admitting the law and life, and hitting rock bottom, drugs in the ex-wife. Fuck Dick and Bird! Fuck Dick and Bird! Fuck Dick and Bird! Fuck Dick and Bird! Fuck off! Shit.
Hello and welcome to this thing we call Minnesota Foul Play-by-Play. I'm your host, Anthony Variano, and I'm joined, finally, by the brothers Haas, Michael and Bradley. Michael, love the Waves jersey, man. Sporting the old Gordon Bombay. Beautiful.
Mighty Ducks for life, brother.
District 5, baby, yeah. Now known as the Minneapolis Storm. That's my guys and my ladies. Bradley, how we doing, baby?
Not bad. Just arrived in Billings, Montana for the girls and boys divisional basketball tournament.
Oh, both of them are out there, huh? Nice. It should be fun.
Yep, I decided I would take my favoriteest daughter to, her first divisional tournament since she's in high school.
Cool. That should be fun.
I can't wait till I get to high school.
Oh, me too, Mike. We do act like a bunch of kids on this show. We got a lot to cover, though, so much so that it's Wednesday, and I can't even talk wrestling because the agenda is so packed, which should make Michael so happy. So let's start with Michael's specialty. The Twins got even deeper today somehow. Didn't think it was possible. Didn't think that there was another move to be made, but they signed veteran infielder Donovan Solano, 35 years of age, to a one-year contract. It's an MLB deal, so he'll be expected to be on the club out of spring training. Michael, tell us a little bit about Donovan Solano.
Huge fan favorite of the San Francisco Giants. Guy can flat out hit. Is essentially what I'd say. I mean, God, there's just too many numbers.
397 against righties over the past 4 seasons. Crushed lefties with a 461. That's his slugging percentage, I imagine. That split largely continued last year, even though he was less productive overall. He hit 301, 348, 422 with the platoon advantage, but just 277, 335, 369 without it. So it sounds like he's going to be a platoon infield player.
Yep. Yes. And to squash your concerns, Nick Gordon is fine. He's just fine.
Well, I'm concerned because we're running out of roster spots, for Christ's sake. This team is like 41 deep.
No, he will take, like we discussed last time, he's likely going to probably take Royce Lewis's spot on the 40-man roster. People are going to get moved.
He'll be on the 60-day IL.
60 IL. This likely will affect Larnach. He'll probably get sent down, start his time at AAA ball. What I love about this, though, is we're fucked last year. Fuck the Celestino approach. We are trying to become injury-proof this year.
Oh, absolutely.
So if people go down, we've still got a MLB squad to compete. So I like it's a very safe, cheap option. It's not going to put anybody out. I mean, I was a little confused at first, just with the Farmer signing as well. But we do need another righty bat, and this guy crushes lefties. And I really think the ball club is just trying to become injury-proof.
Perfect. We like that. We want to be in the conversation and the playoff hunt come September. So this should get us there.
Hopefully get us over that 82.5 wins that Vegas has us projected at.
Just ridiculous. I bet the over, right, Brad, on that? Absolutely.
I got in at 76.5, so yeah.
You got hit at 76.5? How'd you do that? When did you make that bet? Fucking 6 months ago?
Before the Correa signing.
Yeah. Well done, sir. You're definitely going to turn that one around. How many units on that one?
A couple.
Okay. All right.
A couple.
Well, more Minnesota news. Kirk Cousins is apparently a star. He's going to be featured in a Netflix docuseries called Quarterback. Never thought him interesting. Most quarterbacks aren't. But the chains and dancing on the planes apparently made him a star. So saw him recently sang a tribute to Tom Brady to Kelly Clarkson, Since You've Been Gone, which was pretty hilarious. Uh,
That
I
was fucking hilarious.
yeah, where did this come from? Like, he's had a whole career where he's basically been under the radar. He's most known for his lone Monday Night Football win, where he yells, "You like that?" That's his one thing he's known for. And now he's on a Netflix docuseries. He's at the what was it, the NFL Players Awards, where he sang that song with Kelly Clarkson. I mean, the guy's a superstar all of a sudden. Justin Jefferson has rubbed off on this guy, I think.
I
But that's
agree.
the
I think it 100.
Go ahead,
Go
Brad.
ahead, Brad.
No, I was just gonna say I agree. Like he's that older guy trying to fit in with the younger crowd now, and good thing that Jefferson's taken a liking to him. You know, because he throws in the ball all the damn time. But he's one of those interesting guys. You know, kind of like Tom Brady back in the day. All Tom Brady did, he was an X's and O's guy. You know,
Right,
until he
worked
got
his
away
butt
from
off.
Bill Belichick. And then I like him. Once he gets away from Bill Belichick and he starts getting on social media and starts throwing the trophy, you know, like we talked about in the Bay, like
Across the
hell
bay,
yeah,
yeah.
like
No, that's
good for Kirk Cousins. I mean, hopefully it's his last year playing for us, but
And
no. I
hopefully it
don't.
ends with a
that's just money
championship,
reason.
right?
Right.
I don't want to offend anybody that watches this show, but Brad just summed
Which
it up
is a lot,
perfectly.
actually. Well, at least listens to the show. I want to say thanks to our audience who have like doubled the number of downloads from episode to episode over the last 3 episodes. So thank you. We could use your help at our YouTube channel though, at Minnesota Foul Play by Play. Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
But yeah, Brad kind of summed it up and brought on my notes about Cousins for this little part of the segment is it's like Tom Brady 2.0, where it's the NFL needs to appease its, I'm not calling them racist, but he's another safe, boring white dude where it's, oh, funny, he does the chain thing, blah, blah, blah. It's so safe, it makes me sick. Justin Jefferson deserves a show. He's a real star.
Yeah, that's
Kirk
true.
Cousins, whatever. And I understand everybody loves Brady. I find him very boring.
So
Like,
boring.
it's so boring. But
What's
it's
He's going to replace
boring
Greg Olson on the goddamn broadcast for Fox, and Olson is fantastic. Like, he was just great during the Super Bowl. Am I wrong about this? Because that seems to be the reviews coming back on his performance.
he was good, but let's go back to Kirk Cousins. What's boring about seeing your quarterback suit up every time? What has he missed? 2 games in his career?
One game
because of
due to
COVID?
COVID-19. Yes, because he refused to get a vaccine. Yes, that's the only game he's missed in like 8 years. Amazing.
No, what I'm saying is boring with everything that's going on in the world, and I understand.
Lamar Jackson. I'd like to hear what Lamar Jackson has to say
Yeah.
about playing quarterback, because he doesn't play quarterback. He plays fucking running back and quarterback simultaneously.
No, it's a very
Bring him.
It's so
Bring him.
it's so safe
like-
it makes me sick. Is my
Agreed.
thing.
He could be my quarterback any day. Anyways, moving on. It's time for Did You Know? Did you know the Wolves are wicked bad at keeping a lead? There's been some talk on Reddit about Chris Finch since it's the 2-year anniversary of him becoming the Timberwolves head coach. Everyone seems to be pretty pleased, but the man still hasn't figured out how to manage that team when they've got a double-digit lead. In their last 2 games prior to the All-Star break, they led by a combined 46 points. They have a negative 5-point differential in those 2 games. They're running 8th in the West, but Golden State is a half game back with 3 games in hand. That's the next game they play. We're going to try, hopefully, to get with Joel Variano, my favorite cousin and NBA 2K expert, to do a show during that game. Oklahoma City is just a game back of them with 4 games in hand. So, I mean, there's no guarantee that Minnesota makes the playoffs or the play-in tournament. The NBA All-Star Weekend. Anybody watch any of that garbage?
Hey, I watched the new version of the All-Star game because I put $100 down.
Why
on the
would you do
fucking
something
game
silly
because-
like that?
because I lost fucking money on NASCAR because
Oh,
NASCAR
that makes sense.
fucked
Yeah.
Joey Logano.
Chasing.
The new
But yeah,
version, this version's been out for a long time. It
Right.
sucks. Like
It's gotten worse.
com- compared to, like when Jordan was in there, like those All-Star games, they actually played defense and shit.
They tried, yeah.
Like who
No, I don't.
cares? Like, if you want to do dunks and shit like that, go enter the dunk contest. I
You know
mean,
what? I
that
found
white kid, that
McClung.
the YouTube sensation, that was cool. He came in, he did his 4 dunks or whatever, made every one of them, ran away with the show. The All-Star game to
No,
shoot
and
and
that
half court shots and shit, like it's boring.
I like the idea on the Levitard show of having a one-on-one tournament. So, like, you play to 10 and you rank the players, and the winner gets MVP of the All-Star game.
that's the old Jordan versus Bird on the NES, baby.
God, that would have been that'd be so fun to watch, right?
Yeah.
And so fun to bet.
No,
I
no, Brad is totally right though. It's a waste. It's a waste of a game. At the end of that game where you're playing to a point total to
Yeah.
get to, in the last like 4 shots by Giannis's team, just they get the ball, throw up a fucking half court shot. It's like, what the fuck is the point of this? Like,
The thing
but
is, I don't mind the setup of it, how they do that because what's that big basketball tournament that they run on ESPN? Ex college players, some ex pros.
Big 3-on-3 tournament.
No,
Oh,
no, it might just be called like the tournament. I don't know. It's a 5-on-5, but they actually play, and
yeah.
that's how it is. It's I can't think of the name, but you go to a certain score depending on how much you're winning by, whatnot, just to keep the game going, basically to speed it up for tournament play. It might just be called the tournament. I can't remember. But as far as the gameplay is just trash. I mean, who I can't imagine what these idiots are spending for seats to go to this All-Star game and just watching professional basketball players throw up half-court shots and shit. Like, ooh, yay, fun. I mean,
Well, I mean, that's the
it's
thing is,
shitty
if you
enough.
put it in Utah, the people will come because what else is there to do in friggin' Utah in wintertime besides ski? You know,
Correct. But, like, what I'm trying to say, it's shitty enough to go to an NBA game as is.
Yeah, because you don't know who's gonna fucking suit up every night.
Correct. And then to go to this trash of an All-Star game, like, I don't know. Man,
No,
I
Well, it's
thought
a made for
football
TV
was bad, but
event. Like it's the only reason it exists still is for television purposes. Like they have to
fair
fulfill
enough.
television contract but there's got to be a better way to go about this. And frankly, I think the one-on-one tournament would be the way to go.
no. And the last thing to plug the Wolves, I did love Anthony Edwards' little Kobe-esque comment, though. I mean, it would be nice if these. I understand the playoffs are the most important thing, but at some point, fans are coming to the games to watch the stars. Fucking play the game, like is my thing. I mean,
Yeah, Anthony Edwards suits up just about every day.
yep.
He plays.
That guy
and I
really
appreciate
turned
that.
me. I was skeptical when they drafted him
Oh, not me.
because of his work ethic.
I knew he was one of the best shooters in the draft, so it was a pretty easy pick for me.
But I'm just saying, like, as a human being now, he's coming out and like he does all the right things, says all the right things. I absolutely love
Yeah,
the
he
guy.
did have a little bit of a homophobic moment on Instagram this last offseason, but yeah, for the most part, good player, good guy, it seems like. So we'll leave it at that and move on to what we really want to talk about. I mean, when I first wrote this outline a week ago, the Wild were dead in the water. I mean, they did not look like a playoff team at all. And they went 4-1-1 since.
Yeah, they read your fucking thing and they're just winning games.
They have had absolutely no scoring from their bottom 2 lines in the last 5 games and only 1 assist over their last 10 games from their bottom 2 lines. That is a testament to how great their goaltending has been. Philip Gustafson, holy cow. Did we win that trade or what?
Yes, we did. But this is more of a testament to you. Number one, you put this shit out in the air and we get our defensive coordinator fired. and we hire another good one because of what we
A
do.
better one, a much better one.
Now you go and rip these guys.
I
and
didn't
say
do it
that, hey, they
publicly.
might
This
even
was
make
only
the
shared with
playoffs.
you. You two are the only people who, unless you floated it to someone, this didn't get out. But we were going to talk
It's
about how
leaked.
the Wild
It's
were
leaked.
mildly wildly mediocre, and they are not wildly mediocre. They just beat the LA Kings, you know, one of the top teams in the Pacific Division.
The
Uh,
Predators game was fucking huge on Sunday.
they
I
beat the
mean,
Dallas Stars. They look fantastic. They've got this another 21-year-old kid, Adam Beckman, looked really good in last night's game. He had his first goal taken away due to an offside play on the power play, but he was in the right spot at the
He
right
got
time.
screwed
I
on
thought so
that.
too. That was a matter of an inch, centimeter. I mean, I replayed,
I mean,
especially
and
the
here's
time it
the
takes to
deal.
review it.
And that's one thing I don't like about it. I mean, they controlled the puck for what, another 45, 50 seconds in the
Right.
zone.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it should be being offsides didn't affect the goddamn play,
It really
in
did.
my opinions.
No, you're right about that.
And as far as Gustafson, like, dude, he's hot right now, man. Like,
It's the beauty of a hot goaltender, man. Holy cow. Yeah, because they gave
so
up, what, 33 shots and put on only 20 or so on net yesterday. And Gustafson,
yeah,
it was great right up until the end of that game where they had a man advantage. So,
and was it Crawford for Chicago a few years ago when he got hot in the playoffs and
yeah,
took
it
him to
sounds
the
right.
Stanley Cup? I mean,
Yeah. Happens all the time. Blues did
hopefully,
it
like,
with Allen. And yeah,
yeah,
I mean, you can get a long ways when you don't give up any goals. Like, all you gotta do is get a penalty. That's the thing, is they stayed out of the penalty box yesterday, and I've been waiting for them to do that all damn season. And if they can do that against good teams, their power play is better than most teams' penalty kills. Their penalty kill is better than most teams' power plays. They're not the best 5-on-5 team against most of the playoff teams, and we're gonna find that out pretty soon
no,
because we've got Toronto coming up. So that'll be interesting. And what I mean, they played those, 7-game home stand, a lot of home games, a lot of overtime games, a lot of shootout wins. But you gotta love a team that can win a shootout, and it's just nice to have guys that can score on a goalie one-on-one. Uh, they haven't gotten a lot of breakaway chances, but
exactly.
they've been hanging back and playing really good defense. Like, they haven't been pushing the envelope, which is what got them in trouble before, when we thought they were just wildly mediocre. Their defensemen were just pushing or pinching too much, just getting themselves into the offensive zone too often and letting up breakaway opportunities to the teams they were playing against.
so what do we do, Tony? Then we've got the wild card slot right now, but we're still borderline. What do you do with this team?
Yeah, nothing at the trade deadline. Judging from what I've heard, well, again, like the Too Many Men podcast last week actually talked about the Wild for the first time like all season, it seems like, and both Shane and Goldman and Sarah Sibian I think we missed the playoffs. They don't think we're going to make a trade for a top line center, which is exactly what we need. But do we really need one when Ryan Hartman's going bar down twice in a game? I mean, holy shit, that guy was sniping yesterday. Fuck, that was fun to watch. Yeah, I was about, another thing. A week ago, I was about to say Ryan Hartman ain't a top line center, but I don't know. Maybe he can be a top line center on this line with Kaprizov. It's just what's available to us now in terms of the center market. It's just there's nothing. So Ryan O'Reilly was most recently traded to Toronto. You all saw how good Toronto was against Buffalo. I think they scored 6 goals in the first or 5 goals in the first period. We did get Toronto's 2025 fourth round pick in that deal because we let a prospect go. Bo Horvat already traded to the Islanders. That happened a while ago. So that leaves us with Jonathan Toews, he's 34, Sean Monahan, who's dealing with a foot injury, and Ivan Barbashev, who's struggling offensively. So, I mean, do we really want a rental who is either hurt, old, or struggling offensively that we're going to lose at the end of the year? I don't think so. I guess if you're going to make a
No.
move, you make a move for the Blues Barbashev, but because he's likely to improve just playing with Kaprizov as anybody would. But he's not even the best center on his own team. He wasn't. So I think you stick with what you got.
Well, what about playing devil's advocate, though, too? I mean, last week when you put it up and I was doing some reading on the Wild, I mean, they made it sound pretty clear that Dumba would be traded. Do we do that now that we're still in the mix?
So. I don't think you find a trade partner for Dumba. First of all, he's an offensive defenseman that hasn't had much offensive production in the last few years. So, I mean, he does small things that make him, I don't even want to call him a top line defenseman, but he's adequate. He's a guy that you can trust on the ice. I think he is. He makes a lot of dumb mistakes sometimes, but I mean, that's what happens when you get old. When you get older and slower, you tend to chase the puck more and end up in the penalty box a little bit more. So, but
that's the only thing. Like with Dumba, though, like I like Dumba. Once again, as a
great human being. I mean,
yes.
he just had.
They just did the hockey skate thing, because he couldn't do it for the last 2 years. That's where I hate to see somebody like that traded and whatnot. As far as our team, he's fallen off drastically. I mean,
well, I realize that, but that's the thing. That's like, what are you going to get in return for him because of that? And that's why you don't trade him.
Nothing.
Yeah.
No, exactly. What cost too? If you're going to be costing morale on the team, I mean.
Well, then you got to think who's going to step into that defense spot, and that's you're playing with fire as it is. Like you're riding a hot goaltender right now. 33 shots allowed is a lot of damn shots. Your captain, Jared Spurgeon, blocks like 4 or 5 shots on goal every game. So you're looking at probably 40 shots toward the net with a chance of scoring that your goalie and Jared Spurgeon alone have basically stopped from going in. And that's asking a lot of 2 guys on your defense. So you're not going to get something in return that's better than Dumba to fill that roster spot. You don't have somebody on the roster who's as good to fill that roster spot. So you stick with what you got. It's gotten you here. You're the top wild card team. Let's see. They've got 3 points behind Edmonton for the top wild card spot with a game in hand. Calgary's 4 points behind us. The Central Division might be out of reach. We're tied with Colorado in points, but they have 2 games in hand. So if they win one of those 2, it's done deal.
We're not the diehard hockey fans, which I'm a hockey fan, not a diehard like you guys. I don't watch every game. Just the Twins, yes, I'll watch every game, even when we're fucking trash. But so how many games left in the season?
They've got about a third of the season left. At the All-Star break, it's usually about a third of the season left. So 30% of the games they play 82. So like 20.
Yeah, there's like 20.
Yeah, 25, something like that.
So out of those teams, who do you guys
think?
You what, oh, go ahead, Brad.
I was gonna say I'm helping us out right now because the last 2 weeks I've bet on Edmonton and Calgary and they haven't covered for me. So I'm doing my fair part to get them.
You're doing your part.
Attaboy, Brad.
Yeah. So who do you guys think out of the Flames, the Predators, and the Blues? Who do you think has the best Flames, shot of?
Yeah. Judging from what I've seen, the Blues and Predators don't scare me. The Flames do. Obviously, Edmonton scares.
Did you see what the fucking Predators did last night?
I didn't.
I got them at -1.5. They're killing the game. Absolutely dominating the game until the last 2 fucking minutes when they pulled their goalie. Like, what are the odds of that to happen? And then they lose in fucking overtime. I'm just like, yeah, I'm done. Thanks. You helped the Wild, though.
The Knights also yesterday. We're leading.
Yeah, Knights fuck me too.
Yeah. you gotta stop playing so many damn parlays. Also, you gotta stay away from the in regulation bet. That is a sucker bet, my friend. I never bet the in regulation bet.
Just bet 3 team parlays.
Yeah.
Guess who covered, baby? The Wild covered.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, man. I do pretty well betting on hockey generally, but I don't bet nearly as much volume as you. So you gotta just rein it in a little bit, bud. Yeah, but just
Gotta
keep
bet
telling
money to
yourself
make
you
money.
got that Minnesota Twins at 76.5 wins, boy. That's gonna be looking pretty good, I think. Pretty good.
Well, that's a
That's
fucking
that's a guarantee.
that's a
Hell yeah, it
gimme.
is.
That's a gimme.
All right.
I parlayed that with them winning the Central.
Oh God. See, why can't you just do
Why
one
can't you
bet?
just
Like
do
when
one
you're
at a time? Now you're fucking playing with fire. All you had to do was finish third in the Central to win that bet. Now you got to fucking win the damn thing. Ah, Brad, when are you
Because they're
gonna
gonna
learn?
win the Central.
They might.
It's just the Central. It's not the American League
The
or
White
the
Sox
damn World
and the
Series. Like
Guardians are
they'll
both
win.
competitive, though.
all right, the next 5 minutes is going to be devoted to Gamblers Anonymous edition.
My name is Bradley Oz, and I am an addict. We all got our vices, Bradley. It's all right.
How much time do we got left, Tony?
At least 10 minutes. Why, you got some bets for us?
I got some trivia, buddy.
Okay, another Did You Know?
Later.
All right, bring it on.
Who is the only team?
Of course we lose him at this part of the show. There's one segment in this show and we lose him. Are you there, Brad?
Yes, sorry. Like it's bullshit. Anyway, the only team in the modern NFL era to play in Super Bowls and never lead in that game. Can you name me that team?
The only team to play, what was that? To play in Super Bowls?
In the
Never.
modern area. So that's the merger since 1976 or something like that?
And never hold a lead.
I would.
It can be forever, whatever.
The Vikings.
I would.
4 times.
Nailed it. Nailed it. They have never held a lead in the Super Bowl.
I was gonna say, yeah, Oakland pretty much worked us, and there wasn't hardly any scoring in those games. Huh? That's crazy. Wow, that makes me sad to be a Vikings fan. We've been to 4 and we've never led in the game. We never scored first. That's fucking incredible.
Yeah, it's enough. It's enough to shut up those fucking Bills fans who whine all the time.
Right? You guys at least had a chance. Shit, you have no idea what it feels
Right?
like. Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about another hockey team in the state of hockey. The Minnesota Whitecaps are pretty darn good. They hadn't lost in 2023 until Saturday when I showed up to watch them play the worst team in the Premier Hockey Federation. The first and only team, by the way, to take the women, the W, out of their name because they are trans inclusive. They were 10-2 since December until the weekend, so they're 10-4 now. They lost 4-2 to the Buffalo Buttes on Hockey is for Everyone Day. And that was just days after the Premier Hockey Federation playoff format was released. So the top 4 teams will play a best of 3 semifinal series in Boston March 16th and Toronto March 17th, which will be home games for the current top 2 seeds. It's pretty obvious to everybody that Boston and Toronto are the teams to beat. Kind of running away with the league, frankly. Minnesota is running third, though. They've got a 3-point lead with a game in hand. And the final in those playoffs is a winner take all at a neutral site on Sunday, March 26th. All these games you'll be able to watch on ESPN Plus. So I guess I'll tell you the story of my first Isabel Cup final. That's what they call the final in the Premier Hockey Federation, formerly the National Women's Hockey League. I think that's what they called it. I had the pleasure of covering an Isabel Cup final because I was doing a story about these Minnesota Whitecaps in their expansion season. The players working full-time jobs while also playing professional hockey, which is insane, especially when you're flying commercial and are expected to go back into the office after playing a weekend of hockey. Sometimes you will show up at Monday at 5-6 in the morning and have to be at the office in an hour. Just go straight away from the airport. That Isabel Cup final was the best game I've seen yet to this day. I haven't seen a better game played in all the games I've seen, and there's plenty. I call games, high school hockey games, probably the best high school hockey you can find in this country, at least. Canada probably would be a little bit better, but it ended in an overtime winner off the face-off for the Whitecaps in their expansion season. That same season, they became the first team ever to sell out season tickets and the first team ever to turn a profit. This was in their first ever season in the league. So, I mean, this Lynx phenomena, this love of women's basketball in Minnesota is not just a basketball thing. It's not just because the Lynx have 5 championships and are really good right out the gate. So, like I said, you can watch every game this year and next year on ESPN Plus. The next Whitecaps game is against second seeded Toronto on February 25th at 6 p.m. So we'll have a really great game to kind of serve as a barometer to see how good these ladies really are. They did come back and play a lot better in their second game on Sunday. They lost 1-0. There was just no offense to be found for them. Plenty of shots on goal. I watched the game while I was watching the Wild game. And I got to say, watching them live is you just get a sense that they are the best in the world still. You know, that's the thing is people don't understand. Like you go to an MLS game and you're watching like the 5th, 6th, 7th best soccer players, 10-minute warning in the world. These hockey players, there's only one hockey federation that has professional hockey players, women's professional hockey players that they compete with. And most of those are Canadians, I'd imagine, simply because they have a lot more teams in Canada. They travel to China, I believe, to play some of their games too. So it's just some of the best hockey that you can see. It's cheap. I paid $25 for center ice tickets, and like I said, ESPN covers it so you can watch it at home. That's what I was doing on the playoff game at the bar before when you guys went to the stadium for the Vikings game, Vikings and Giants. The day I renounced my Vikings fandom until Brian Flores arrived. I was watching the Whitecaps kick the living crap out of. I can't even remember who, but yeah, I was hooting and hollering in the bar, and everybody's like, "What the hell are you watching? Game hasn't started yet." It's like, "Oh, women's hockey, bro, women's hockey," on my iPhone. So I had a blast at the game. I thought it was a great time. It was my first Whitecaps game at the Richfield Arena where they play now. They used to play at Tria Arena, which is a smaller arena with seating on only one side. So, and it was the first ever sellout in Richfield Arena history. So I was there for that too. So yeah, women's hockey, fucking fantastic. I hear you want to become a fan, Michael. Do you have
No,
ESPN
and
Plus?
I'd like to plug your little Go Gonzo journal. I did read
Oh, thanks, man.
your story on that, and that kind of drew me in. I mean, the last I think we brought it up on one of these discussions we've had when we were out in Minnesota for that game. Like, I love when you hit that North Dakota Minnesota border and you're in sports bars. I think 3 of like the 10 TVs had high school girls hockey, high
Right.
school and college girls hockey.
Yeah, and by the way, you'll be able to watch the girls and boys high school hockey playoffs on Bally Sports and Bally Sports Plus as well. They air those games, so that's freaking awesome.
But yeah, just to finish the plug on your article, I mean, you did a hell of a job of showing, and you kind of described it here, of what these fucking women have to do just to play a sport they love.
Right.
First of all,
not to mention the periods. Like that's another thing is like the Tiger Woods pulling out the tampon and giving it to I can't remember who it was for not out driving him, and then having to apologize for it. And it's just like, are we not over this misogyny yet? Like, guys, come on. These women go out and play while they're during their menstrual cycles. And if you ever experienced anything like that, you would not be playing golf, Tiger. I'm sorry.
So I started doing some looking into the team, because I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't mind women's hockey. I've never followed the Whitecaps before, though. But so out of Jonna Albers, Natalie Snodgrass, Sydney Morin, who do you take? Who's your favorite?
Albers is my favorite because she's got breakaway speed. Like, That's
Who was
what I've
that?
always Albers. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, no, that's what I've always loved about the sport. Is my favorite player from the beginning was Eric Holla, just because once a guy got a breakaway, man, he was you. There was no one on the ice who could catch him. He's had a knee injury since and a surgery that slowed him down, but yeah, I love that breakaway speed. So yeah, she's definitely. If I were gonna get a number on a jersey on a sweater, it would be hers.
Can this team pull an upset in the
Uh,
semifinal?
In the semifinal, I think they can win 2 out of 3 on someone's home ice. Yeah. Especially from what I saw in their Sunday game because they can defend with anybody. Uh, on Saturday, they couldn't stay out of the penalty box. They looked, frankly, just a step slower. And that's what happens when you work a full time job and have to play hockey, and practice and all of that, and raise kids. So it's understandable where you have an off day every once in a while. Um,
Well, it's
their
got to be
goal,
tough. It's got to be tough to get into rhythm as well. If you're only playing a couple games a week,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
get much
Their
practice
schedule has
time.
a lot of. I mean,
Yeah,
they played Sunday. They won't play again until the 25th. So, yeah, that's a good solid week off.
yeah. But no,
And
I'm looking forward to getting into more Whitecaps hockey, and it's nice seeing Minnesota teams win. I mean, that's
yeah, it's nice to be in it. I mean, it feels like the Twins have been winning for us for quite some time now. We've been on a high since popping that court for Carlos Correa. If y'all want to see our, I don't know, I guess I'd call it the trailer for this show. If you're going to see what this show's all about, we like to have fun here, and we had fun that day. Boy, I tell you, uh, I bought a bottle of champagne for what we called the biggest win that this team, the Minnesota Twins, will have in 6 years, because it very well could be. And when you don't have players like that show up very often and stick around, you celebrate something like that, even if they do get hurt and end up having a goddamn ankle surgery that cost them 2 seasons. Because we're just happy to have you, Carlos. Still
well, yeah.
happy to have you.
No, Tony, and I understand you're the host. I was wondering if I could pose a question to my brother, though,
I
since
would
he's
love
the
for you to post it, but he's not here.
fucking Jesus.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens when you go to Billings, man. Your self reception goes to shit, and he's got kids. I don't know what's going on with that guy. He's probably got a bet he's watching, and he's like, I'm losing it, man. I'm gonna lose another 2 units. Fuck, shit.
So
What would you ask him though? We'll ask
I
him
was
on the
going to
show,
ask
and then
what day do the Vikings finally? And I'm not saying this in a joyful manner, but when do they finally cut ties with Adam Thielen?
this season.
Hometown
I
favorite.
think this is the season. Yeah,
No, I know.
this
I'm wondering what day. We're approaching
Oh,
important deadlines where we've got to get our cap situation in order, and I just don't see him on the team.
I
And
think
no,
Brad's already said that he doesn't see them on the team either.
no,
It's a pretty deep wide receiver room. I mean, Jesus, with the arrival of uh, Osborne, KJ Osborne, it just seems like we've got a plethora of options at wide receiver, especially if we hold on to our tight ends as well. Like,
no. I think it's over the next couple of weeks. It'll be interesting to see what subtractions we've got, and in this offseason for the Vikings, I'm gonna love to see what they do to our defense.
oh
Just
gosh, I am so excited for Brian Flores. That should be enough to improve this defense, at least to the top of the bottom tier. Like, at least we won't be at the bottom of the bottom tier. But if we can get to that point where we're like the 66th percentile rather than like the well, I guess it'd be backwards, but uh second to
no,
last is terrible. Effing terrible. And I mean,
no,
also, I think even if we are second to last, at least we'll be aggressive in second to last. I'd much rather blitz a bunch and get beat every once in a while than never blitz at all and just play it safe, because that shit was hard to watch.
no. It's very fucking hard to watch. Just to watch teams march down the field where it's just
Systematically, just find a wide open guy every goddamn play. Yeah. Or wide open space on run plays.
no, just horrible, horrible.
2-minute warning. Anything to add, Michael, on today's show, which was jam-packed, so jam-packed, I can't even talk to you about AEW wrestling, except Orange Cassidy, Wheeler Yuta, baby. Oh, boy. Orange Cassidy's going to hopefully retain the All-Atlantic Championship.
I'm glad you did that. I thought that was a Lady Gaga shirt for a minute, but no.
But it's basically toss-up. That should be the main event tonight. We've also got the Tag Team Battle Royale, folks. Woo! God, I love me a Tag Team Battle Royale. It's going to be a great show. Tony Khan has a very important announcement he'd like you to hear, so tune in, even though this is going to probably be published after the show is over. All right. I'd like to thank Michael Haas, our baseball expert, for joining us. I'd like to thank Bradley Haas for his short appearance on today's show. And I'd like to thank all of you for listening to us and doubling our audience episode over episode over episode.
Next week, spring training games begin, baby.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, we'll have another all baseball episode for you.
In the last 3 seconds, final Twins blurb in here. Jung Ho Park reported that Kirilov's been getting work at first, Austin Martin at second, and then we got Gallo in left field for initial defensive drills. So
beauty.
Man,
we're jonesing, baby. We got a baseball boner, babies. All right, I'm Anthony Variano, your host of Minnesota Foul Play-by-Play. You can find us at foulplaybyplay.com, on YouTube at Minnesota Foul Play-by-Play, on TikTok at Minnesota Foul Play-by-Play, on Twitter at Foul Play-by-Play. We don't really tweet much, though, because Elon Musk sucks. And
keep it fucking ridiculous.
All right, thanks for joining us. Love you. Bye.
Bye.